Hello, welcome to the video lesson video notes for lesson 10-4. This is all about similar figures. The learning target for this lesson, I can determine the sequence of rigid motion followed by a dilation that maps a figure to its image. So this is kind of like what we did in the last unit where we did more than one. So that's the big idea here. We are going to be doing more than one transformation. And let's write transformation because I think some of you forgot that in the last unit, and that was really a big part of topic 9. Alright, so given ABCD is similar to EFGH, describe a sequence of rigid motions followed by a dilation with a center at 0, 0. So first is going to come, the first thing that's going to happen is, remember we have 3 to choose from when we were talking about the rigid motions. Those were translation, reflection, and rotation. So you got to decide what is happening to move the figure to the new location. Then after we decide which of these 3 is taking place, then we're going to figure out the dilation. Alright, so we're going to fill in the blanks to complete the sentence. A blank followed by a dilation with center 0, 0 and a scale factor of. So we've got to find the scale factor and we've got to find which it is. So I'm going to clear the screen, so pause it if you need to copy. Alright, now looking at this, first thing I want to figure out is, actually let me fix my screen a little bit. I want the directions in here. Alright, so A goes with E, B goes with F, C goes with G. So the first thing I want to figure out is the orientation. So looking at the smaller figure, the original image, so I'll put an O here and an I here because that's the order of things. So A, B, C, D is going in a counterclockwise way. E, F, G, H is also going in a counterclockwise way. So there is not going to be a reflection. Not a reflection. So I can eliminate that. So is it a slide or a turn? Well, no matter how I slide it, if you look, this point C, which is kind of pointing away from the origin, some people might say, oh, well, it's a reflection because I can flip it over this way. But the orientation is different, so it's not a reflection. So the only way to get this pointing away from the origin is a turn. So remember, turns always go counterclockwise unless they're negative. So we're going to turn it this way. One turn would bring it over here, so that's 90. Another turn would bring it over here, that's 180. So the first thing is a rotation 180 degrees. And that's probably going to be the most challenging piece to this, is figuring out that first mystery, if you will, the first piece to the puzzle. So the first transformation that we're doing, I'm going to write down the coordinates for the original figure. A is at -2, 2. -2, -2. B is at -4, -2. C is at -6, -6. And D is at -2, -4. Now, I can't show this in the video. Well, I could, but it would mess everything up. So, on my paper, I turned it around to figure out where A prime would be. So this is going to be my pre-image or my in-between image. And what I found is it's at 2, 2. So if I did a 180 degree spin, A prime is at 2, 2. Now look at what it started with and what it ended with. So basically, the coordinate numbers stay the same, they just become the opposite. So B prime is going to be 4, 2. C prime is going to be 6, 6. They're all just becoming positive. And D prime is 2, 4. So plot all those points. 6, 6. And then 4, 2. Label them. B prime, C prime, D prime, and connect them. And looks good. Alright, so now we've got to figure out, okay, we're going from this figure to this figure. Obviously it's an enlargement. So make sure we are looking for a number greater than 1. We'll figure that out in just a minute. Some of you probably have already figured it out. One of the things you can do is start with a point. So A prime, let me scooch this down a little bit. You might lose some of what's up at the top. A prime is going from 2, 2, and it's becoming the image E, and that's 4, 4. I think many of you can figure out right away what is happening. So B prime is 4, 2, and that's going to the image F, and F is at 8, 4. C prime, 6, 6. G, 12, 12. And lastly, D prime is 2, 4. H is 4, 8. So what do I do to these numbers to get these numbers? It's a scale factor of 2. Now, just to confirm that, let's do this another way. Let's look at the distance between A and B, and that is 2 spaces. So side AB, or A prime, B prime, whichever one you want, is 2. That's the same, that corresponds with side EF. And side EF is 4 spaces. So what do we multiply 2 by to get 4? Well, the answer is 2. So there's your scale factor of 2. So you can get it a number of different ways. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at page 21. Given a square nice is similar to kind, so we know this one and this one are similar, so same shape, different size. Describe a sequence of rigid motions followed by a dilation with center 0, 0. So we want to find, we're going to need the scale factor dilation. So we're starting with nice and going to kind. So this is going to be an enlargement. Originally, so nice goes in this direction, which is counterclockwise. Kind goes in the same direction, so that is also counterclockwise. So right away, I know that there is not going to be a reflection. If the orientation stays the same, I can eliminate reflection. So now I got to decide, am I doing a turn or a slide? Now, as you look at it closely, you can tell there's no way to turn this image. By the way, this is the original, here's the image. There's no way to turn this image to get it to line up with the original figure. So it's going to be a translation. But another hint that I want to give you, write this at the top. Sometimes you may want to try working backwards. And this is a great example of when working backwards will make this a much easier job. Remember, the dilation is coming out of the center 0, 0. So The original figure is nice right here. Well, we are going to have a middle image or a pre-image right here, because it's coming out of the origin, that is, we'll call it N prime, I prime, C prime, E prime. That will then end up becoming KIND. Now, how do we get that? Well, let's start with our K, which is at 0, 6. Our I, which is at 0, 0. Our N, which is at 6, 0. And D, which is at 6, 6. Now, what I mean by working backwards is, usually the arrows go to the right. This time they're going to go to the left. Look at these pre-image or middle image points, vertices. So N prime is at 0, 2. I prime is, well, same point, 0, 0. C prime, 2, 0. And E prime is 2, 2. So what am I doing to these numbers to get these numbers? That's what I mean by working backwards. So we're essentially finding the dilation first. That's the second of these two. And what is happening? Well, I am going from this way to this way. I am multiplying by 3. So the second thing that's happening is a dilation with a scale factor of 3. So now we got to figure out the first transformation. How do I go from N to N prime? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 spaces to the right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces down. So it's a translation. Translate. I'm going to use the rule instead of writing it in words. If you want to use words, write 6 spaces down, or write 5 spaces down 6 spaces, that's fine. I'm going to use XY arrow. To go to the right, I'm going to add 5. To go down, I'm going to subtract 6. And you're done. This is your final answer. Now, for this, I showed you a strategy of working backwards. Some of you may not like that. Some of you may say, I've got another way. That's fine. Just remember, when it tells you that the center is 0, 0, especially if the image is touching 0, 0, then you're going to want one of your intermediate or middle image points to be on the origin. And that's essentially where it's growing out from. So, there's one more on this page. If you are brave enough, you can try it. It's at the bottom. The video is starting to get a little long, so we're going to stop in just a second. This is, no, obviously there's a typo here. This is not a square. It's a quadrilateral. Maybe, it looks like a trapezoid, maybe. Given pink is similar to girl, we're going to describe a sequence of rigid motions followed by a dilation. So the dilation is second. So you've got to first figure out the first step, and then the second thing is going to be the dilation. So they give you most of what you need here. You just are going to have to figure out what the scale factor is. Now obviously, I'm going to give you a couple of hints here about the first. So pink goes in this orientation. Girl goes in this orientation. They are opposite, so that means something. That will help you find the first transformation. Then, if you look at the original figure, pink is larger than girl, so that should help you to find your scale factor. So if you want to try this one, good for you. If you don't quite feel confident, we'll be going over this in math. If you have any questions or you were confused, go back and rewatch the video. Good luck, and we'll see you in math.